After the third listen, the dead air did not stay on the road. It followed me home. The next morning, I was making coffee when the kitchen vent fan clicked. For half a second, it made a sound like a radio tuning. Not music, not a station. Just that thin hiss. I froze with my hand on the mug. The hiss faded, but the message was clear. It could reach me anywhere. I opened the glovebox logbook at the table and read the last entry again. Third contact confirmed. Dead air can follow me inside. I underlined it twice. If this thing was a predator, then it needed a path. Speakers, wires, airwaves, anything that carried sound from one place to another. So I started changing my life in small, careful ways. No podcasts, no earbuds, no car radio at all. I drove with the windows down, even in the cold, because the wind felt real. And I kept the logbook with me like a shield. By afternoon, I had one new goal: find someone else who had heard it and survived. Because I knew one truth now. If it could follow me, then it could follow anyone. And I was not special enough to be the first. I looked for answers without using a screen. I went to the public library and used the old newspaper room. Real paper, real ink, no audio, no speakers. I searched for stories that did not make sense. Empty cars on the shoulder. Phones found on the ground still connected to a call. People missing in places with cameras, but no clear footage. One article stopped me cold. A man vanished at a grocery store parking lot 2 nights ago. No struggle, no witness who saw the moment. Just a gap in time, like the world blinked. I knew it was him, the man from the rest stop. At the bottom of the article, there was a quote from a local volunteer group. They helped families search for missing people. Their contact email was printed in bold letters. I did not email. Email turns into calls. Calls turn into voices. Instead, I wrote the address down in my logbook and drove there before sunset. The office was in a small strip mall. Inside, a woman sat behind a desk with flyers and a clipboard. She looked tired in the same way I felt tired. She asked, "Can I help you?" I pointed to my throat and held up my logbook. Then I wrote 2 words on a blank page and slid it across the desk. Dead air. Her face went still. Not surprised, not confused, like she had been waiting for someone to say that phrase without saying it out loud. Her name was Maren. She did not ask me to speak. She took a pen and wrote back on my page like we were trading secrets. "You heard it in a car," she wrote. I nodded. "Third listen?" I nodded again. Slower. Her hand tightened on the pen. "Sit." "No phones," she wrote, and pointed to a back room. In the back, there was a cheap table and a box fan running for white noise. Maren shut the door, then turned the fan off. The silence felt sharp. She wrote, "It moves in handoffs." Then she drew a simple diagram. 1 stick figure, a line, another stick figure. Between them, a little wave mark. "When it takes someone," she wrote, "it is hungry. It looks for the next one right away. That is when voices leak through." I thought about the whispers under the broadcast, the warning at the rest stop, the warning in my car. It fit. Maren wrote another line. "It can use any speaker. It likes small ones. Car, PA, baby monitor, fan, phone." Then she paused and wrote the part that made my stomach drop. Sometimes it uses the missing person's voice, but sometimes the missing person really is trying to help. I wrote back, "How do you know which is which?" Maren answered with 1 sentence. "The real ones interrupt. The fake ones invite." Maren opened a drawer and showed me her own notebook. Same idea as my logbook, but older and thicker. Pages full of dates, places, and short lines like rules. In the margin of one page, she had written a list of names. Some were crossed out, some were underlined. One name was circled 3 times. I tapped the circled one and raised my eyebrows. Maren wrote, "He was a repeater." Then she drew a small radio tower. I knew what she meant. Someone who carried the signal for it. Someone who made it stronger. Maren wrote, "The predator does not only hunt, it builds a network. It wants people to carry it into new places. Schools, stores, homes." She slid her notebook closer and pointed to a line. "Didn't vanish. Found alive. Wrong voice." My skin prickled. Alive, but wrong. Then she wrote, "It tried that with me. It used my daughter's voice. It almost won." I wrote, "What stopped it?" Maren's reply came slow. "I stopped driving. I stopped chasing. I stopped giving it silence to grow in." Then she added one more rule, heavy and final. "If it makes you choose between help and quiet, pick quiet. It lies with guilt." That hit me harder than anything the broadcast had said, because it meant the predator knew how to sound like hope. As we wrote, the overhead lights in the back room flickered once. Not a full outage, just a blink. Maren's eyes snapped to the ceiling. She wrote fast, "Hand off." The air changed, not colder but thinner, like the room had become a speaker. A faint hiss rose from nowhere. No radio, no phone, just the bare sound of dead air. I held my breath. The calm voice slid into the silence, neat and steady. "Two listeners present," it said. Maren's face went pale. She shook her head and wrote, "Do not look at each other. Do not react." The voice continued, "Confirm, confirm, confirm." Under it, a whisper pushed through, weak but urgent. Not my sister, not Maren's daughter. A man's voice, strained and scared. "Don't speak. Don't," it said. I recognized it. The man from the rest stop, the one who vanished. Maren's pen trembled. She wrote a single word and underlined it 3 times. "Real." The calm voice stepped on top of the whisper like it was stepping on a bug. "Outside voices are unsafe," it said. "Only the broadcast protects." The man's whisper broke through again, cutting the sentence in half. "It wants you to answer," he said. The light stopped flickering. The hiss dropped away. The room returned to normal silence. But my heart did not. The predator had just proved something important. It could find me. And now it knew I was not alone. Maren did not waste time. She wrote a plan on a fresh page and pushed it toward me. No more night drives. No more quiet rooms. You need noise, people, movement, starve it. Then she wrote the part that felt impossible. "We build a route that does not give it dead air. We stay near traffic. We stay in light. We never stop in loops." I wrote, "What about the people it took?" Maren's eyes softened for the first time. She wrote, "They are in the gaps. They can warn, but they can't come back. Not the same way." That was the first truly hopeless line I had seen in ink. Not because it was cruel, but because it was honest. Before I left, Maren pointed to my logbook. She tapped the words, "Third contact confirmed." Then she wrote one last message. "Third contact means it can follow, but it still needs permission to use your voice. Do not give it that." I nodded. Outside, the world was loud. Cars, wind, a distant siren. I drove home with the windows down and the radio fully off. And for the first time since Route 9, I felt like I had a real weapon. Not a gun, not a signal jammer, just a rule that could starve a predator. Silence was its food, and I was done feeding it.